Feeling something moved from behind, Ian turned around to check on the boy. She noticed he was conscious and slowly started to come around. Excited that he has awakened, she told him, "We found you lying inside the root of an old tree." "And we are." The boy grabbed her arm and tried talking. He has aphasia, so he could only utter words that does not make sense, but his flustered facial expression may have meant he wanted to know what happened to the others. Since she could not understand, she asked him what's wrong. For now, if he can get up, then. Suddenly, they felt the vibration around them. Ian looked up and wondered, "Wow, what is that? A landslide?" Large rocks were tumbling down from the mountains, falling to the area where they are. Ian, Yayul, and the little boy fled the area, running away from the falling rocks. She saw large rocks falling and thought that there's only a little left to do. That if this incident works out, that Dantian could be fixed as well. She instinctively pushed the little boy away from the falling rocks. Sometimes later, Ian, lying down, started to regain consciousness. It took a moment for her to realize her dire situation. She sat up and noticed there are lights. "I'm alive, aren't I?" she thought. She tried to move, but felt her entire body hurts. How could it be like this? I thought I had finally got to where the all-knowing doctor was, but the all-knowing doctor that should have been here wasn't. And when I thought I'd narrowly came across a child who could be a clue at the scene of the attack, a landslide occurred. At this point, it's like the heavens are dead set on not letting my Dantian get fixed. Ian concluded as she held onto the side wall to help her walk forward. "No, Bekri Ian. Let's not think negatively. For now, focus on surviving." She felt and observed the wall. It's ringing. The walls and floors are level as if they were replaced. She deducted. For there to be a man-made cave in a place like this. She had survived thanks to it, but she still has no clue where she is at. Ahead of her, she saw something that looked like a creek door, and in the gaps, there was light shining. She entered the room and was surprised what's in the room. A medicinal storage? Neatly organized jars, pill bottles, books, human body illustrations, and supplies. She asked herself, is this the all-knowing doctor's secret storage? Ian picked up a box, opened it, and saw that it is the light circulation pill. She cannot believe the all-knowing doctor has this. This is incredible, isn't it? Ian wanted to give this all to her father. She sighed and leaned on a box to rest. That is only possible if she is able to get out of the secret room. Ian thought, it's getting harder and harder to move. She would look around and take some medicine, but they're all related to Qi. So it does not suit her. Ian closed her eyes and contemplated. There is no way to get out from inside the room, so what should she do now? Suddenly, she heard a tapping sound. Her eyes widened as she stood up. Surely, is father looking for me? That's right. Who else would tap on the wall like this? She looked like her energy was restored as she paced around the room looking for a way out. Ian approached a wooden shelf on the wall. She wondered what is behind the wall shelf. She glanced around and noticed the dust is swept towards one direction. She walked up to the table and grabbed a box. Ian started messing around, hoping she is doing it the right way. After toggling with the box, the shelf door automatically propped open. She felt excited but was quickly shaken by the sight she saw. It was covered in blood, and behind those doors was a person sitting, covered in blood. Startled at the gruesome sight, her legs went weak and she fell backward, trembling in fear. A corpse? But the finger was tapping. No, it's a living person. The injured person spoke. There is nothing to be afraid of, as I'm the one who called you. If it's not a corpse, then shouldn't she do something? She asked, are you all right? She stood up and paced around, panicking. Treatment? No, I'll get some medicine. The heavily injured person stopped her. There is no need for that. Bekri. Hearing her name, she paused and glanced back at the injured person. What? How? Did you know my name? The injured person replied, how could I not know when you've been this eager to find me? Yes, so. Your Qi is crippled. Shocked, Ian instinctively knew. The all-knowing doctor. The thick smell of blood flickered across the tip of her nose. She knew he does not have much time left. That, she is sure of it. The all-knowing doctor asked, what happened to the demonic man above? just as she was thinking of a better way to put into words. Well? The all-knowing doctor told her to tell him the truth. She gave a short answer. Everyone has died, and were burnt. I see, he answered. Ian stated, there is one person alive. Before the landslide completely covered everything, she saw it. The figure of her father yanking away that child, Sonok. Ian told the doctor, the child should have survived. Keek keek. Ho ho. If it's your father, you mean? Bekri Yikong? The all-knowing doctor asked. I too have heard of his character and skill. If that's true. Ian stated sharply. It is true. The all-knowing doctor asked. Why did such a distinguished man like himself save another child instead of you? Ian stuttered. That isn't because of father's ability. Ian told of what happened in the last moment before she fell to the secret room. She pushed the two children towards her father. The all-knowing doctor asked. You pushed him? You? She stated. Father only has 2 arms. He asked. So, you pushed your father in order to save 2 children, and then got swept away by the landslide? Sadly, Ian replied, rather than saving, I made a choice. The all-knowing doctor said, isn't the same thing. However, if I didn't do that, then while holding me, father would have chosen only one of the 2 children. Father is an upright person who has never turned away those in need. I could not just let father make that difficult decision. Shocked of Ian's action, the doctor asked hurriedly, then are you saying that you're all right with dying? Before he could complete the word, he started coughing, having been worked up with that statement. Elder. Ian called out worriedly. The all-knowing doctor's vision is getting cloudy. Elder, how can we get out of here? She asked. The all-knowing doctor mumbled, to be of the orthodox, they're treacherous, but in the end. Confused, Ian called out again, Elder? The all-knowing doctor grabbed her shoulders and asked, you said you wanted to fix your dantian? Yes? There is no time left. So I'll give you this instead. There was a yellow glow in the all-knowing doctor's pupils which shook Ian. The doctor said, how you will use this, that's up to your will. Outside, above the landslide, the sun was shining. It's already been 2 months, said one of the men digging the ground as he rested on the shovel. He had a buzzed haircut. There is no way she would still be alive now. It should be time to give up too. Young Master Bekri should know this as well too. The other man with hair bun wiped the sweat off his forehead and asked, don't you think he wants to be able to retrieve her corpse at the very least? Do you think even he knew a terrible thing like this would happen? But that doesn't mean he can just leave his child behind, can he? The buzzed hair man replied, then again, he should recover her body. If a child's buried in a place like this alone, then she won't be able to enter nirvana properly, stated the man with a hair bun. Look over there, pointed the buzzed haircut man. The man with the hair bun glanced into the distance and complained. What? He went in again. That rascal keeps on getting in the way of the search-in. No way, said the other man. Look carefully. On the child's back, doesn't it look like he has something on his back? Sometimes later, Ian's eyes were bandaged. She was being attended by a doctor and aide Shim. The doctor asked how is her eyes? She replied it's much better. Aide Shim asked, just why are my lady's eyes like that? The doctor is not sure either. It could be because she had stayed in the dark for too long, but that, he is not sure of. Aide Shim asked, you're not sure? The doctor stated, if it's because she had not seen the sun, then her eyes should have gotten better as time goes by, but they aren't. If it's a lasting wound, then it may never get better. Lasting? Aide Shim shouted anxiously. The doctor said, that could be the case, or not the case. Aide Shim called out, wait, doctor? Ian chuckled nervously, what do I do? This isn't an illness, so it cannot be fixed either. After that day, she gained 2 fields of vision. A normal vision of things that she had always seen, and a second, made of light. Tears started running down her eyes. Ian wiped her tears and thought, oh, I've kept on being like this since coming out from underground. I can't just recklessly open my eyes. It's been 2 months since you've been confined underground in the all-knowing doctor's room after being caught up in a natural disaster, and not only that, you have gotten worse. Just how anxious must you be? Aide Shim, shocked of Ian's condition, called out, Mildy, let's go to the Namgung family. She looked up at Aide Shim, of course with her eyes closed, and thought, the Namgung family? Master Bekri and Master Namgung have both returned to their homes to request for support, so it'll take quite a bit for the news to reach them. Ade Shim wanted Yin to know that they did not abandon her. So, if you set off for the Namgung family first and recuperate under the care of a physician then. The sound of door clicked. Yin could tell it was Yayul. Come to think of it, why is he still here? A flashback of when Yin was swept by the landslide and had been covered. Her father voiced loudly, Yin, we have to save Yin. Even if I have to bring all the family members from the main residence, right now, go. No. I'll go there myself to request for support. So how could Master Bekri be in the right mindset to take care of Yayul? Questioned Ade Shim. Master Bekri entrusted Yayul in my care. Oh. Yin finally had a picture of the situation. Ade Shim told Yin that he will be writing to inform both of the masters, so she can take a rest. Facing Yayul alone without others in the same room, Yin felt awkward. She thought of her father. He must have been quite worried. He needs to hear that she is alive as soon as possible. Yayul, staring at Yin, with a complicated emotion. He had a flashback of when she pushed him, and so knocked away towards her father. He turned back to look at Yin and witnessed how she was swept away by the landslide. The last image he remembers of her before she disappeared was a content smile on her face, as if she does not even care about her own safety, her own life. He asked, why did you save me? Huh? Yin replied. Is he talking about the landslide that happened then? Yayul said, you don't like me? His sentence shocked her speechless. For a moment, her heart sank. She should have denied that she don't dislike him, but she replied, because a person's life is precious. Yayul countered, my life is not precious though. And at that moment, she noticed his expression. The expression showed he's incredibly serenely, as if he was just telling an obvious truth, and was content with that truth. Yin called, you, come over here. Yayul is confused. He moved closer, she told him closer, a little closer, until he finally leaned right in front of her reach. She touched his face and moved her fingers to his forehead and flicked his forehead. Yayul jolted and scooted backward, surprised of what she did, giving her the expression, what did you do that for? That expression somehow made her angry. She yelled, I know that it doesn't hurt, all right? I don't mean to take credit for saving your life, but do you really want to talk nonsense in front of someone who came back from the brink of death? Are you unhappy about surviving? Huh? Not satisfied, she scolded again. I'm getting angry again just talking about it. Come here. Let's hit you one more time. Yayul protected his head with both his hands, looking down guiltily and moved closer to her. She questioned, are you really coming again just because I said so? Frustrated that the person who killed her in the past life was so obedient this lifetime, she yelled, I won't refuse it then. Let's hit you once more. Yayul yelped. While she hit him again. Yin touched her head, frustrated. She thought she didn't make it obvious all these times. She didn't know that he was thinking like that. Yin crossed her arms and huffed, my head hurts because of you, so I can't eat any more medicine. I'll eat it later. Her attitude caused Yayul to be flustered, not sure how to console her. He could only say okay to her eating medicine later. Yin glanced at his flustered expression and thought, he is so different from the Yayul that she remembers. It is no wonder that her head's throbbing. Just as things calmed down inside, Yin and Yayul heard commotion outside. Yin asked Yayul, it's loud outside. What's going on? Yayul took her outside to see the commotion. A guard was shouting at someone. How can I trust you and let you in? You already look suspicious as is, but not knowing your place, you still dare. The other guard answered. Whatever, forget it. It's like talking to a wall. Just kick him out. Kneeling on the ground was poor little Sonak, who couldn't talk and did not make sense to the guards. Sonak noticed Yin coming from around the corner. He stood up, cried, and ran towards her. The guard grabbed him and scolded, you rascal. He then proceeded to apologize to Yin and said that he'll properly kicked out the boy. Seeing Sonak's pitiful crying expression, yearning for her, she sighed and told the guard to let him down. The guard finally let Sonak down, and the moment he was freed, he ran toward Yin while crying. He hugged her, like a child who was separated from their mother for ages. Little Sonak kept gluing himself to Yin like little chicks sticking close to their mother. Yin sighed and asked him to let go of her. Yayul stood on the side, radiating dark aura. Yin asked Yael to go somewhere else for a bit as she wanted some alone time with Sonak. Gloomed that he was asked to leave, but he still left at the end and give Yin space. Once it was just two of them, Yin said, "I'm sure you weren't searching for me. You were looking for the all-knowing doctor, right?" Sonak shook his head. "No? But didn't you go around knowing that the all-knowing doctor's underground retreat was nearby?" she asked. Sonak nodded his head. "Well, sure. I don't know why you were looking for me, but I have something to tell you too." Yin felt nervous of the news she was going to tell him. She said, "Sonak, that's your name, right?" He nodded. As the all-knowing doctor didn't even have family, Sonak was the closest relation he had. That was the reason why she thought she should inform Sonak of the news, because that was the least she can do for the all-knowing doctor and Sonak. She turned to him and said, "The all-knowing doctor has passed." Tears streamed down Sonak's face and he bawled loudly. Yin didn't know how to comfort him. She wonders why the image of the child and that bird overlap each other. After letting Sonak grieve, she handed him a bag of money. "Take this. With the money, he will be able to live, adjusting to life in the village. With that, then she has truly done all that she can for him." Yin said she will be leaving then. Afraid of being abandoned, Sonak held on to her sleeve, not letting go. She assured him, "Don't worry. I heard they asked a villager to take care of you." He shook his head vehemently. "I too will also ask father to find a good adoptive father for you." Yael was hiding around the corner of a building, peeking to watch them. He suddenly heard Yin yelled, "Wah! What are you doing? Wait. So, let go." He saw Sonak clinging onto her clothes, wouldn't let her go. Yael sprung out from hiding and dashed towards the two. He grabbed onto Sonak's collars and lifted him up. Scared, Yin asked, "What is he doing?" Yael replied, "He was about to knock you over." She reprimanded, "Still, how could you grab him hard by the collar like that?" "But, Yael," she shouted, "release him this instant." He instantly let go. Sonak was coughing from the strangulation. Yin asked him if he is all right. Yael nervously apologized for his action. Yin humphed, "But from your stare, you don't even know what you did wrong." Sonak grabbed onto her sleeve again, unable to utter what is truly in his heart. He can only act out what he wanted. Yin asked him, "You want to go with me?" Finally, she understood him. Sonak beamed happily. The carriage kept going forward toward its destination. Inside the carriage, Yael asked Yin, why didn't she let that child follow her? That child? The chick. "Oh, Sonak?" she asked. "Because it's dangerous." "It's dangerous?" She explained, "The Bekri family is a Miram family. There's no reason to drag an ordinary person into that sort of place. In the next few years, there will be the great unorthodox demonic war as well. It will be even harder for her to guarantee Sonak's survival in those circumstances. Moreover, she does not want to be responsible for someone else when she cannot even protect a bird in her possession. With things already like that, she needed to let Yael know too. Her standing in the Bekri family isn't that great. Right now, the people of the Namgung family are kind and treat her well, but the atmosphere will be a bit different when they return to the Bekri family. Yael needed to keep that in mind. Back at the Bekri family, full of beautiful tree landscaping, nice, tall, majestic buildings, walking bridges, and clear blue river canal, Bekri Kong stood alone, so in solitude, as if it was just him against the world. Sad and hurt, he reminisced of his time with his daughter, Yin. Looking down at the carps, he remembered the last time they strolled through the area. Yin asked, "Father, what thoughts do carps have as they live?" He replied, "Would creatures even have thoughts?" She stated, "I don't like the carp with that white fin." "How come?" he asked. "It's always stealing the other's food every time." "Is that so?" Yin stated cheekily, "Each carp has its own personality. Like, the one with the 2 red dots on its back always comes late when food arrives because it's lazy, while the red carp over there always takes first place whenever I give them food." His thoughts blackened when his half-sister demanded from him when he asked for help. She retorted, "I thought hard about it, and why don't you say something to father? To bring back Pyo and Ok. That child, Bekri Yin, isn't even here anymore. So there is no reason for my children to be at the high continuing darkness, is there? Other people ridiculed, and where is the Bagua village? Why did they even go there? Why did Milady have to die there and make things?" Another person gossiped. What's it to us, having to go all the way there just to recover a corpse? Phew. Baekri Yikong stood alone. In this expansive Baekri manor, he cannot find anyone who is sincerely worried or sad for Baekri Yin. To not cause ruin to the Baekri family, to not stir up trouble, he did his best. And yet, what is he to do about the discriminated treatment? Just as he was about to lose his self-control of the poor treatment. Someone called out, "Young master! Young master! Young master!" Yikong turned around and Ian Du was running towards him. "What's the matter?" Flustered, Ian Du announced, "Someone from the Namgung family came, and they said they have found Milady." Yikong wiped his tears with his sleeves. "I see. Where have they brought her to?" Startled, why would he ask that? Ian Du explained excitingly, "No, young master. That's not it. Milady is alive. They said she is alive." "Mr. Wan." Ian called out happily, raising her hand up for a hug. "Ian." Namgung Wan called out to her with a relief expression. He lifted her up and said, "You truly are safe." Ian laughed happily, hee. Namgung Wan asked, "But what's with your eyes? Don't tell me. Did you lose your vision?" Ade Shim bowed. "I greet the young master. Milady's eyes are." Before Ade Shim could finish explaining, Namgung Wan pointed 2 fingers and asked, "Can you see this? How many is it?" 4? Her answer shocked everyone. Ian laughed, "Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding. It's 2. She gestured a peace sign. Speechless of the prank, it took Namgung Wan a moment to scold. "You're laughing?" I apologized. Namgung Wan cried of happy tears and hugged Ian. "Thank you for coming back. Thank you." Ian could only let him hug her and reel in the reality that she is truly still alive. The carriage continued to the Namgung family, while Ian explained the event that took place when she was buried underground. And so, while going through the all-knowing doctor's books, I found a way out of the royal mausoleum, which is why it took a long time. Namgung Wan looked as if he's in deep thought. "I can't believe that the whole area was the site of an old royal mausoleum. Who knew that all-knowing doctor's platformed room would be there?" Ian said, and, "Mister, I'll give this to you." She opened the box, revealing 2 medicinal bottles. "Please check it out." He took a bottle and studied it. "What is it?" "Don't tell me. This is clear chi oil?" Clear chi oil, an eternal elixir in which 1 drop of it enhances one's internal energy. Namgung Wan started trembling in disbelief. "I cannot believe they had 2 bottles of such a precious elixir. The all-knowing doctor's reputation wasn't in name only. You truly came out from the inside the all-knowing doctor's secret room." Ian stated that she is giving 1 bottle to her father and the remaining 1 goes to him. Stunned but only for a moment, he collected his emotion and handed the bottle back to Ian. "I'm all right." "Mister," your voice was shaking. "It was in your head." Crossing his arms, he reproached, "Just how do you see me? I'm not a rogue to the extent that I would covet something you've gotten after almost dying." Ian smiled. The clear chi oil is something that anyone in Murim would risk their lives to get their hands on. For him to be able to give that up, shall she say that's to be expected from her father's close friend? Ian held the bottle out. "Come on, please take it." "I said I don't need it," he responded. Ian clarified, "No matter how precious they say the clear chi oil is, I think that Mr. Namgung, who did not give up on me until the end and found me, is more precious. So, please accept it." "Yes." My arm's going to fall off. He could not refute her sincerity. "A rascal like you." "Thank you, Ian." He accepted the medicinal bottle from her. After days of riding the carriage, they had finally arrived at the Namgying residence, to the home of the protagonist of this world, to the home of Namgying Ryuchang. In the past, when Ian had stayed at the Namgung family residence, Namgung Ryuchang, who had gone for his maternal family's home, did not return for half a year. Both the Namgung patriarch and lady, so both weren't there, right? It does feel a bit leery to bring Yayul, the main villain, to the place where the protagonist lives. Yian sighed, but since they will be leaving after a month, it'll be fine, right? That is what Yian thought, but Namgung greeted, I've returned, dear. Yian's mouth dropped, Agape. Namgung's wife, Young Sook, greeted, I'm glad that you've returned safely. I was worried because you had left with only a few guards to accompany you. Namgung replied, it couldn't be helped as it was an urgent matter. Yian did not know why the mistress is present. Yang Sook asked, she is Baekri Yian. Yian introduced, hello, I'm Baekri Yian of the Baekri family. Yang Sook replied, yes, I heard you suffered quite a bit coming all the way here. Namgung approached his wife and asked, where is Ryu Chung? She replied, Ryu Chung is training right now. Yian, occupied with lots of things, thought, Lady So being here means that Ryu Chung is also here. Weren't they supposed to be at their maternal family's home? Namgung scolded, what do you mean training right now? Did he not hear that I've returned? His wife replied with just a chuckle. The upset Namgung stated, he heard it and ignored it. I know without you even having to tell me. His wife laughed and answered, yes. Infuriated, Namgung turned away and scolded, I'm going to. Before he could complete his statement, his wife pulled him. Hoo-hoo, one moment. I too have a child to introduce you to. A child. Namgung's wife gestured to the little girl. Say hello? She stared up to the tall Namgung and greeted, hello. I Seo Haryung of the Seo Yang sect. Yian's jaw dropped. If she's Seo Haryung, then isn't she the heroine of this story? Yian sat on the chair and analyzed. Things have developed differently from the past. It changed again, following Yayul and even the protagonist's moves. Anxiety hits her. From where did it start? I cannot even tell if this change is even a good effect. According to what was said earlier, Namgung Mucheol, the patriarch of the Namgung family, as well as one of the 10 strongest artists in the world, also seemed to be in the residence. Although I somehow did pull the wool over Mr. Wan's eyes, will it be possible to stay here, hiding Yayul from even one of the top 10? Ack. A voice groaned outside from the window. Yian turned around and wondered, what is it? A scream? Outside the window, Yayul grabbed Seo Haryung's hand. She shouted, what kind of? Ow. What kind of strength is? Let go. Ow. It hurts. Yian witnessed the commotion through the window and asked, what are you two doing? Yayul replied, while still holding on to her hand. She was snooping through the window like a rat. Seo Haryung snapped angrily. What do you mean, rat? I only came because I was just a bit curious. Ow. Anxious for the other girl, Yian yelled. Yayul. Softly. No. Let go first. Yayul instantly let go of Seo Haryung's hand. She stepped back, putting a distance between them. Yian reminded, we introduced ourselves earlier, right? I hope your wrist is all right, young lady. Seo Haryung kicked Yayul's leg, which stunned Yian. After the kick, she stormed off into the distance, leaving Yayul and Yian dumbfounded. Yayul asked, should I chase after her? Yian replied, huh? No. It's fine. Besides that, are you all right? He answered, yeah. Yian explained, young lady Seo is someone who's learning the sword, so you mustn't twist her wrist like that. Yayul nodded. She stated, the Seo Hyang sect is a large sect around here, and the leader of the sect is also famous. Seo Haryung is the daughter of that sect leader. Because Yayul is one of very few words, Yian wasn't sure if he truly understands. Enough with the sounds. Are you sure you really understood what I said? She questioned. Yayul remained silent and did not answer. Yian sighed and told him to go in to put on some ointment on his leg. He told her it's fine though. But it bothers Yian. Before that, attend to my business first. This startled both Yayul and Yian. They turned to look at the incoming person. It was an elderly bald man. Who is that? To approach like that without a single sign. Yian used her eyes and saw that his Dantian's cluster of light is the biggest from all the people she has met. He's incredibly strong. He approached Yayul and asked, oh ho, and who's this child? Flustered of the immensely opponent before him, Yayul took a few steps back. The old man shot a few energy strikes through his fingers at Yayul. With whose permission are you moving like that? The situation frightened Yian. She shouted, what are you doing right now? Yian stood up on the windowsill and plunged forward, toward Yayul and the old man. She can see his movements, but it is not enough to turn her body away completely. She flew straight to his fingers where his power was accumulated and fell down the ground, clutching her chest in agony. It startled both Yayul and the bald old man. The old man asked, "How can you just try to avoid it halfway?" Yin, still clutching her chest, felt like her chest is burning. The old man asked her to stay still. "I've pierced your lethal point, so if you can't undo it right this second, you will die." The old man strikes a few acupoints on Yin's body, causing her vision to get blurry. Seeing the different ceiling, Yin was finally awakened. Yayul was standing next to her, attending to her health. Just as she was starting to come around, the old man was sitting on the chair and scolded, "If you're awake, then get right up." His scolding completely awakens her. Yayul asked if she is okay. Yin looked at him and saw that he is all right too. "Yeah," she replied. "Has his demonic technique been discovered?" She questioned herself as she looked at the old man. On top of not even thanking an elder for saving your life, you have a very insolent stare. "Oh." Yin humphed. "No. Wait. He's the one who pierced my lethal points and almost killed me, yet." But he was too strong to argue with straight up. Yin swallowed down her frustration and thanked, "Sir, thank you for your grace." The old man replied. "All right." She asked, "Who are you, sir?" He crossed his arms and asked, "Who do you think an elder like me is?" "F you. Come on, this man." "Seriously." Inner Yin scolded. Pretended to be patient, she asked, "Pardon?" "Humph. Who would be the old man who could walk around this house as he pleases? I think I've given you enough clues with this. You still cannot guess who?" Yin thought hard, and a clue came to mind. "No way. Are you the Namgung family patriarch?" The old man straightened up haughtily, satisfied with the answer. "He's really the Namgung family patriarch?" Yin finally changed her attitude and became serious. She stood up and bowed. "I will formally introduce myself. I am." "It's fine. Just sit comfortably," the old man interrupted. "But what brought you here, sir?" I won't say much. Hand me the clear chi oil," the old man ordered. "What?" Yin was dumbfounded. "Don't try to say you don't have it, as I know you already have it." Yin reasoned, "Even if I do have it, why do I have to give it to the Namgung family patriarch?" The old man brushed his beards and retorted, "It'll be best to hand it over while I'm still being nice. Isn't it something that you, too, have also stolen from the all-knowing doctor anyway?" Yin stated, "No, I received permission from the all-knowing doctor. Since she even received the ability from the all-knowing doctor, then it is all her." "Humph." The old man laughed, "Ah, the all-knowing doctor gave that to you?" "Ah." He slammed his fist on the table, caused cracks to appear. "You have quite the nerve, don't you?" Yayul shielded Yin from the aura radiating from the old man. "Isn't it enough that you dared bring someone who has learned demonic techniques into the Namgung family, but you're even trying to trick me? Quietly give it up while I'm speaking nicely." Yin panicked. "Oh dear, she's been caught with regards to Yayul." She stated, "Yayul is not a demonic cult follower. He just had no choice but to learn demonic techniques." The old man snapped, "There's an excuse for everything. No one will be able to say anything even if an elder like me just rips you two to shreds here." Yin replied, "You intend to start a war with the Bekri family?" The old man stood up and walked toward Yin. "Humph. Do you think that I wouldn't know that you aren't even treated properly at the Bekri family? Hand over the clear chi oil. Then I'll turn a blind eye to that scoundrel. What do you think? Of course, if you reject, you'll have to forfeit your life." Yin, in deep thought of the best action to take, finally told him to take it. "Instead, please guarantee Yayul's safety." "Guarantee?" "Yes. That I mean is that if Yayul's demonic techniques are revealed, you'll have to protect him. Father turned a blind eye to Yayul's abilities because he was worried about me. And he wasn't even able to tell Namgung Wan Mister because of my treatment either." "Humph. So?" The old man replied happily. Yin grabbed the chest box. "Even if the Namgung family knows about Yayul, you just have to make sure that it doesn't negatively impact Father." She opened the chest box and the old man looked greedily at the medicinal bottle. "All right. I'll guarantee it." Yin closed the chest box before the old man can grab the clear chi oil. Frustrated, he yelled, "Are you messing around with an elder right now?" Yin covered her mouth and replied, "That's not it. There's something I need to make sure of." "Sir, You are not the Namgung family patriarch, are you? You rascal. If you're trying to play tricks here. Yin answered, I didn't say I wouldn't give it to you. It's just, please give an undeniable guarantee for Yayul's safety with your full name as well. Yayul blushed shyly of the ultimatum Yin requested. If you make that clear, then I won't ask any further questions, she said. The old man left with a satisfied posture. Yin, peeking behind the house pole, he's finally leaving. Still, she smirked contently, although she regrets it being taken from her. She is glad that she had one knowing that would happen. She did leave one for herself, just in case, but she should give it to father, right? While Yin was feeling proud of herself, Yayul was shrouded with glooms. Yin turned around and asked what is wrong with him. Yayul just kept feeling more and more despair to the deep end, digging a hole to bury himself. No matter how much Yin called his name, he just would not respond. Yin patted his back and called him again. The despair Yayul finally uttered, it's because of me. Yin said, Chanson Yongjia, the former Scarlet Devil. That is the identity of that darn elder. In short, it means that it is not your fault. No matter how incredible your true strength is, it's impossible to simply come and go from the Namgung residence, which is filled with masters all over, with ease. Then, a person who from the beginning was permitted to walk freely around the Namgung residence, and someone who could find out the fact that she had 2 bottles within half a day, then, there is only one person left. The sworn brother of the Namgung family patriarch, Namgung Mucheol, Chanson Yongjia. Yin sighed and guessed it's still the time when Chanson Yongjia was still alive. Yayul had no clue what the hell Yin was thinking. He asked, who is Kyeosin Yongjia? Surprised, she asked, you don't know? Yeah, he replied. Yin explained. He is one of the 11th strongest men in the world, but he's a peculiar man who isn't orthodox or unorthodox, and is infamous for living as he pleases. Anyway, should I say, a very strong and eccentric person? Yayul's spirit felt even more down. Yin smiled and called out to him, Yayul, yours is a life saved by the clear chi oil. Now you cannot say that your life has no value. His eyes, finally, revived, full of life, for the first time. He bended to hug her tightly. Feeling his grateful emotions, Yin could only allow him to hug her momentarily and patted his back to comfort him. The next day, she was invited to have dinner at the Blue Hall. Yin was stunned at how gorgeous the place was. When she arrived, everyone was already seated. She even came early on purpose, too. Yin apologized for being late. It's fine. We just came early because we had something to discuss. Don't worry about it, replied the old man. Yin noticed his internal chi. It is similar to Kyeosin Yongjia, and his eyes are the same as Mr. Namgung Wan. This person is really the family patriarch. Yin bowed. I, Baekri Yun of the Baekri family, greet the members of the Namgung family. Namgung's one's wife gestured. Over there is my son, Namgung Ryuchung. Namgung Ryuchung. Her eyes widened as the flashback of her first meeting with him in the past life. She was still wearing the same memorial clothes she wore during her father's service memorial. She met Ryuchung, tears streaming down his face. He asked, Are you, young lady Baekri Yin? Right now, she is the only one who remembers that. Hi, she greeted Ryuchung. According to the original novel, she fell for Ryuchung, and so, she did all sorts of bad things, struggling to capture his heart. So, she was a bit worried, but seeing how he ignored her existence completely. Yin was confident. Yep, there's no need to worry about falling for him at all. That punk. Now, she rejects having a miserable life like the original novel. Namgung Wan admonished Ryuchung's attitude, that little. His wife tried to calm him down. Now. She turned to Yin and said, Please take your seat as well, young lady Baekri. Yin sat down and begged, Please continue to act like I don't exist. That's what she thought. But why? Why does Haryung kept staring at her? Haryung's bright, beaming, Admiring stares causes Yin to feel nervous. We are now caught up with the manhwa. Please like, share, subscribe for faster release of your favorite manhwa.